Captain Sarah Chen stood at the helm of the Earth Defense Force vessel Horizon, staring at the mysterious signal that had appeared on their long-range scanners. After decades of space exploration, humanity had encountered various alien civilizations, but this transmission was different. It carried a desperate plea that touched something deep within her. The signal originated from a distant star system, previously marked as uninhabited. As the horizon approached, they discovered the truth: a civilization on the brink of extinction. The Viridians, a species of bioluminescent humanoids, had once been masters of stellar engineering. Now their remaining population of barely 10,000 survived in underground shelters, their surface cities reduced to rubble by systematic orbital bombardment. "They're harvesting our world," explained Kilara, a Viridian elder, her translucent skin pulsing with waves of dim blue light. "The consortium believes we have no right to exist. They want our planet's rare minerals, our ancient technology vaults. They care nothing for our people." Sarah listened intently as Kilara described how the Viridians had refused to join the consortium, a powerful alliance of aggressive spacefaring races. Their punishment was isolation, blockade, and finally invasion. Other civilizations, fearing the consortium's reprisal, had turned their backs on the Viridians. "We were peaceful," Kilara's voice trembled. "We believed in cooperation, in sharing knowledge freely. The consortium saw this as weakness." Sarah's jaw tightened. She had seen this before, the strong preying on those they deemed weak. Humanity had faced similar challenges in their early days of space exploration, but they had grown stronger, not by conquest, but by defending those who needed help. "The Earth Defense Force doesn't abandon those in need," Sarah declared. "We'll need approval from command, but I promise you this: you won't face this alone anymore." As Sarah transmitted her report to Earth Command, she knew this decision would have far-reaching consequences. The consortium was powerful, controlling dozens of star systems. Protecting the Viridians meant potentially starting a war. But as she watched Viridian children playing in the shelter, their bodies glowing with hope despite their circumstances, she knew it was the right choice. Earth's response came swiftly. "Captain Chen, you are authorized to extend Earth's protection to the Viridian people. The 7th Fleet is en route to your position. Establish defensive positions and begin evacuation of critical civilians if necessary." Sarah turned to Kilara, whose luminescence had brightened with surprise. "Earth stands with the Viridians," she announced. "We'll help you rebuild, and we'll protect you from the consortium." "Why?" Kilara asked, her voice barely a whisper. "Your people don't know us. The consortium will target you too." Sarah smiled. "Because it's right. Because every civilization deserves the chance to live in peace, and because humanity knows what it's like to stand alone against those who would destroy you." As the Horizon's crew began setting up defensive systems and medical facilities, Sarah received reports of consortium ships approaching the system. The first test of Earth's commitment would come soon. But as she watched humans and Viridians working side by side, she felt confident. The Viridians' knowledge of stellar engineering combined with Earth's military strength could turn the tide. "They thought you were weak because you chose peace," Sarah told Kilara. "They'll learn that true strength lies in standing together, in protecting those who cannot protect themselves." The Viridians' bioluminescence began to pulse in sync, a sign of their growing hope. For the first time in years, they weren't alone. Humanity had arrived, not to conquer or exploit, but to defend and protect. As the first consortium ships appeared on long-range scanners, Sarah sent out a clear message. "This is Captain Chen of the Earth Defense Force. The Viridian system is under Earth's protection. Any hostile action will be met with full military response." The battle for the Viridians' future was about to begin, and humanity was ready to prove that choosing peace didn't mean accepting defeat. The galaxy would learn that Earth's strength lay not in conquest, but in its unwavering commitment to defending those in need. Admiral James Torres watched from the bridge of the EDF flagship Artemis as the Seventh Fleet emerged from hyperspace around the Viridian homeworld. 30 Earth warships, representing humanity's most advanced military technology, moved into defensive formations. The sight would have been impressive enough, but what truly caught his attention was the massive engineering operation already underway. Viridian engineers, working alongside human technicians, were constructing a network of orbital defense platforms. Their ancient knowledge of stellar engineering, combined with Earth's military technology, had produced something unprecedented, a defensive grid that could redirect solar energy into devastating weapons. The consortium won't expect this, Lieutenant Commander Raj Patel reported, studying the tactical displays. They're used to the Viridians being purely defensive. This hybrid technology gives us an edge they won't see coming. The Admiral nodded, but his expression remained grave. Intelligence reports indicated the consortium was assembling a fleet 3 times the size of Earth's forces. They saw humanity's intervention as an insult, a challenge to their dominance that couldn't go unanswered. Below on the planet's surface, Operation Sanctuary was in full swing. Earth transport ships arrived daily, bringing supplies, medical equipment, and construction materials. The underground shelters were being transformed into proper cities, with hydroponics farms and fusion power plants ensuring self-sufficiency. Dr. Maya Wong, head of the xenobiology team, had made a breakthrough in understanding the Viridians' bioluminescence. It's not just beautiful, it's a sophisticated communication system, she explained during the daily briefing. They can share emotions, memories, even technical knowledge through these light patterns. We're adapting our combat systems to incorporate their signaling methods. It could revolutionize our battlefield coordination. The Viridians proved to be quick learners, their natural ability to process complex energy patterns making them excellent pilots for Earth's fighters. Mixed human-Viridian crews began training together, their different strengths complementing each other perfectly. But not everyone supported this alliance. Admiral Torres received regular messages from certain Earth politicians, warning about the risks of antagonizing the consortium. Some suggested abandoning the Viridians to their fate. His response was always the same. Earth keeps its promises. We don't abandon allies. The first test came sooner than expected. A consortium scout force jumped into the system, likely expecting to find the Viridians as defenseless as before. Instead, they faced a combined human-Viridian patrol fleet. The brief skirmish that followed sent a clear message. This was no longer an easy target. They'll be back with everything they have, Captain Chen warned during the command staff meeting. This was just a probe to test our defenses. Let them come, Admiral Torres replied. Every day we hold gives the Viridians more time to recover, more time to remember who they were before the consortium tried to break them. The Viridian elder Kilara had become a regular presence in the fleet's strategic planning sessions. Her insights into consortium tactics, gained from years of suffering their attacks, proved invaluable. They believe in overwhelming force, she explained, but they've never faced an enemy who could turn their own energy weapons against them. As the days passed, the combined forces grew stronger. The Viridians' natural affinity for energy manipulation allowed them to enhance Earth's shield technology far beyond its original specifications. Human tactical innovations helped overcome the traditional weaknesses in Viridian defensive strategies. Admiral Torres stood in the newly constructed command center, watching humans and Viridians working side by side. The consortium had fought to find an easy conquest, a demoralized people ready to be enslaved. Instead, they would face a united force, stronger than either civilization alone. Send word to all ships, he ordered. Operation Sanctuary is now fully operational. We stand ready to defend our allies, whatever comes next. The message spread through the fleet, repeated in both human languages and Viridian light patterns. In orbit and on the ground, 2 civilizations united by common cause prepared for the coming storm. The consortium would learn that their quest for dominance had achieved something unexpected. It had forged an alliance that would change the balance of power in the galaxy forever. Dr. Maya Wong had never seen anything like it. In the vast underground chamber of the Viridian archives, thousands of light patterns danced across crystal matrices, each containing centuries of accumulated knowledge. The Viridians were sharing their history, not through words or data files, but through pure energy transformed into memory. "Watch," Kilara said, her own bioluminescence pulsing in rhythm with the archive crystals. The chamber filled with a brilliant display of interconnected light patterns, telling the story of Viridian achievements in stellar engineering, environmental harmony, and energy manipulation. The knowledge exchange went both ways. Human military strategists taught the Viridians about tactical thinking and defensive operations, while Viridian scientists helped humans understand the fundamental nature of energy at levels they had never imagined possible. But it wasn't just about military advantage or scientific advancement. In the makeshift markets and gathering spaces, humans and Viridians found common ground in unexpected ways. Earth's music, with its complex patterns of sound waves, fascinated the Viridians, who began incorporating these new rhythms into their light-based art forms. Lieutenant Sarah Martins discovered this firsthand during a joint training session. Her Viridian co-pilot, Zarin, used bioluminescent patterns to enhance their neural link with their fighter craft. The result was unprecedented, reaction times faster than any pure human crew could achieve. "It's like the ship becomes an extension of our combined consciousness," Sarah explained to Admiral Torres. "Their light communication doesn't just convey information, it creates a deeper understanding between species." The transformation of Viridian society was equally remarkable. A people who had lived in fear for generations were learning to hope again. Young Viridians, inspired by human determination, began volunteering for military training. Their natural ability to manipulate energy fields made them exceptional shield operators and weapons specialists. But amid these positive changes, tensions remained high. Consortium propaganda broadcasts painted humanity as interfering primitives, disrupting the natural order of galactic politics. Some human colonies, fearful of consortium retaliation, demanded Earth withdraw its protection of the Viridians. Admiral Torres faced these challenges head-on during a particularly heated conference call with Earth's Security Council. "The Viridians aren't just allies of convenience," he argued. "Their understanding of energy manipulation could revolutionize everything from space travel to clean energy production. More importantly, protecting them is simply right." The Security Council's response was interrupted by urgent news. Long-range sensors had detected a massive consortium fleet assembling at the edge of Viridian space. The enemy force was larger than anything Earth's analysts had predicted. In the command center, humans and Viridians worked side by side, preparing for the inevitable confrontation. Captain Chen noticed something extraordinary. The Viridians' bioluminescent patterns had begun synchronizing with the rhythm of human activity, creating an efficient flow of information that transcended traditional communication barriers. "They're adapting our tactical doctrines to their own unique abilities," Raj observed. "Look at how they're integrating their energy manipulation into our standard combat formations." The combined fleet ran constant drills, each species learning to complement the other's strengths. Viridian energy specialists enhanced human weapons systems, while Earth's tactical experts helped devise strategies that would maximize the effectiveness of Viridian technology. In the midst of these preparations, something unexpected emerged, a new form of art that combined human music with Viridian light patterns. During off-duty hours, the underground shelters came alive with these performances, a symbol of how two vastly different species could create something beautiful together. As the final preparations for battle were made, Admiral Torres received a message from Earth that brought a smile to his face. The Security Council had voted unanimously to formally recognize the Viridian system as a protectorate of Earth, with all the diplomatic and military support that entailed. "Your people have changed us," Kilara told him, her luminescence bright with emotion. "You've taught us that being peaceful doesn't mean being powerless, and you've shown us that true strength comes in many forms." Torres replied, watching the combined fleet maneuver in perfect formation above their world. Together, we're stronger than either of us could be alone. The consortium's attack was imminent, but in those final hours of peace, humans and Viridians stood united, two civilizations brought together by circumstance, but bound by something deeper, a shared belief in protecting those who needed help, and a determination to prove that cooperation was stronger than conquest. The consortium fleet emerged from hyperspace like a storm breaking over the Viridian system. 300 warships strong, their arrival cast long shadows across the defensive lines of the combined Earth-Viridian forces. Admiral Torres stood at his command station, watching as the enemy fleet deployed into attack formation. They'd brought enough firepower to glass the entire planet, Captain Chen reported, her voice steady despite the odds they faced. The tactical display showed the consortium forces splitting into 3 battle groups, a standard hammer and anvil approach, designed to overwhelm defensive positions. But the consortium commanders had no way of knowing what awaited them. Months of preparation had transformed the Viridian system into a carefully crafted trap. The orbital defense platforms, powered by the system's sun, hummed with combined human-Viridian technology. Mixed crews manned their stations, their movements synchronized through the Viridians' light-based communication. All ships, battle stations, Torres ordered. Initiate Operation Lightning Storm. The first wave of consortium ships advanced, their energy weapons charging. They expected to face desperate, uncoordinated resistance. Instead, they encountered something unprecedented. The Viridian defense grid activated, channeling solar energy through patterns designed by both human and Viridian engineers. Concentrated beams of energy sliced through the consortium's front lines, their shields failing against weapons they hadn't known were possible. Human warships struck from multiple vectors, their attacks coordinated through Viridian light signals that the enemy couldn't detect or decode. Second wave incoming, Raj announced. They're adapting their shield frequencies. The battle intensified as the consortium committed more ships to the assault. Space itself seemed to warp with the exchange of energy weapons and conventional firearms. But for every adaptation the enemy made, the combined fleet had an answer. Viridian energy specialists, linked directly to their human gunners through their bioluminescent communication, adjusted weapon frequencies faster than any automated system could manage. Earth's tactical doctrine, enhanced by Viridian technology, kept their forces one step ahead of the enemy's moves. In the command center, Kilara worked alongside human strategic officers, her light patterns translating complex battle data into instantly understandable tactical information. They're attempting to concentrate fire on Section 7, she reported. Their energy signatures suggest they're preparing to deploy their primary weapon. The consortium's flagship, a massive vessel at the heart of their fleet, began to power up. Energy readings went off the scales as it prepared to unleash a weapon capable of destroying entire continents. This was the same weapon that had devastated the Viridian surface years ago. Not this time, Torres declared. Execute Protocol Sunforge. Years of suffering under consortium attacks had taught the Viridians every weakness in their oppressors' technology. Now, combined with human ingenuity, that knowledge became a weapon. The orbital defense grid reconfigured, forming new energy patterns that the consortium sensors couldn't comprehend. When the enemy flagship fired its primary weapon, the combined fleet was ready. The Viridian defense platforms caught the energy beam, channeling it through their crystalline matrices. Human ships moved in precise formation, creating a resonance field that the Viridians' technology could exploit. The result was spectacular. The consortium's own weapon energy was turned back against them, amplified by the solar power of the Viridian star. Their flagship, for all its size and power, couldn't withstand its own attack reflected back with such force. The explosion lit up the system like a newborn sun. In its wake, the remaining consortium ships faced a choice: continue a fight they now knew they couldn't win, or retreat. Ship by ship, they began to withdraw. Enemy fleet is jumping to hyperspace, Chen reported. Multiple signatures leaving the system. The combined fleet had won, but victory had come at a cost. Several Earth ships had been destroyed, and the orbital defense grid had been damaged in multiple sections. Yet, as rescue operations began, something remarkable happened. The Viridian's bioluminescence began to pulse in a pattern that humans had never seen before, their expression of mourning for the fallen, gratitude for their defenders, and hope for the future, all combined into one magnificent display. Torres watched as human rescue ships worked alongside Viridian energy manipulators to save survivors and repair damage. The consortium had sought to prove that might made right in the galaxy. Instead, they had proven that the strongest force in the universe was two civilizations standing together, choosing to protect rather than destroy. 1 year after the Battle of Viridian Space, the planet's surface had begun to heal. Where there had once been only ruins, new cities rose, their architecture blending human and Viridian design. Crystal spires channeled solar energy through patterns developed by both species, while Earth's environmental restoration technology helped revive the damaged ecosystem. The Galactic Council, long dominated by the consortium, had been forced to recognize the new reality. The combined might of Earth and Viridian technology had changed the balance of power. More importantly, their victory had shown there was another way. Cooperation over conquest, protection over domination. Admiral Torres and Kilura stood in the newly constructed Unity Center, watching as delegations from other worlds arrived. Species that had once turned their backs on the Viridians now sought dialogue, impressed by how the alliance with Earth had transformed a dying civilization into a thriving one. They come seeking technology, of course, Kilura observed, her bioluminescence pulsing with subtle amusement. But they're learning a more important lesson. That strength doesn't always come from the size of your fleet. The combined fleet had evolved into something unprecedented. Human ships now incorporated Viridian energy manipulation systems, while Viridian vessels benefited from Earth's tactical innovations. Mixed crews had become the norm, each species complementing the other's abilities. Dr. Maya Wong's research team had made another breakthrough, a way to adapt Viridian-like communication technology for human use. Though humans couldn't naturally produce bioluminescence, they could now participate in the Viridians' rich cultural traditions through specialized interfaces. We've received another diplomatic request, Captain Chen reported during a morning briefing. The Ardanian Republic wants to discuss joining our alliance. They're the 5th independent system this month. The success of the Earth-Viridian alliance had created ripples throughout the galaxy. Smaller civilizations, long bullied by larger powers, saw hope in their example. The consortium's influence was waning, their philosophy of dominance giving way to a new model of interstellar cooperation. But perhaps the most profound changes were cultural. Human children learned Viridian light patterns alongside their native languages, while young Viridians studied Earth's history of overcoming adversity. The two species had not just allied, they had begun to truly understand each other. In orbit, the defensive grid had been transformed into something more. Its energy manipulation capabilities now powered a network of faster-than-light communications, allowing instant contact between Earth and Viridian space. What had begun as a military necessity had become a bridge between civilizations. The consortium made a crucial mistake, Torres reflected during the anniversary ceremony. They thought crushing a peaceful people would make them stronger. Instead, they taught us all that true strength comes from standing together. Kilura's response came in both words and light, a beautiful combination that symbolized how far both species had come. You showed us that peace isn't weakness, and that asking for help isn't surrender. Together, we've created something neither of us could have achieved alone. As the ceremony concluded, news arrived of another consortium fleet approaching the edge of known space. But this time, they came not with weapons charged, but with diplomats aboard. The message was clear. The galaxy was changing, and even the mighty consortium had to adapt or be left behind. The Earth-Viridian alliance had proven that different species could do more than just coexist. They could thrive together, each making the other stronger. As night fell over the new cities of Viridia, the sky lit up with a celebration of light and sound. a harmony of two cultures that had found each other across the vast expanse of space. In the end, the consortium's attempt to destroy a peaceful civilization had led to something revolutionary, a new way of thinking about strength, about cooperation, about what was possible when different species chose to stand together. The galaxy would never be the same, and for once, change had come not through conquest, but through the simple choice to protect those in need.